Welcome to the Besties with Breasties podcast. Sarah Hall here. I am a certified health and wellness coach, athletic trainer, mom, and breast cancer survivor. I help women overcome their own mind drama to make mind shifts that open up the possibility for their most empowered and energetic life.
And I am Beth Wilmus, author, speaker, and founder of a human investment organization, otherwise known as a nonprofit, called Faith Through Fire. Our mission is to reduce the fear and anxiety that breast cancer patients feel and replace it with hope and a path toward thriving.
This podcast is about our experiences with breast cancer
and life after as young survivors and moms. What are we talking about today?
Oh gosh, I don't remember. It just left my brain.
I have no idea either. So
we're alluding to what we're talking about here.
I know, we're being funny. Chemo brain.
Chemo brain.
As part of our quality of life series,
Yes.
We cannot talk about quality of life without talking about chemo brain.
Yep.
You told me the story, but I want you to share with everybody else, like your biggest chemo brain moment with...
Remind me?
Did you forget?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think you were trying to make me feel better about a situation that happened to me where I felt really bad. So you told me that you once forgot to pick your daughter up from school until like the doorbell rang.
Oh, I didn't forget to pick her up from school. It's just that most of the time, I don't even know what day it is. And so I was sitting there working on my couch until the doorbell rang. She had been let off the bus and I didn't open up the door for her. I didn't go outside to get her off the bus or anything.
You normally get her off the bus, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least I'm standing on the front porch, for her to know that she's not walking into an empty house, like someone is there and I'm there for her. But I was like, oh crap, who's ringing the doorbell?
Didn't think of it.
It didn't even cross my mind that it was my daughter coming home from school.
Okay. Well, that's not that bad.
No.
That's not as bad as mine.
Yeah.
Mine? Okay, so I had a friend who, she and her husband, for whatever reason, she was a stay-at-home mom, but for whatever reason, they had a conflict in their schedules, and we live in the neighborhoods across the road from each other. And she's like, can you please get my kids off the bus? Like, go over to my neighborhood, be there when they get off the bus and bring them to your house until we get home. And it wasn't going to be that much time. I'm like, absolutely, no big deal. And then
the day goes by.
Well, so I even mentioned it to my husband. I'm like, hey, let's not forget, we got to get those kids off the bus. I'm telling you because,
you're my fail-safe.
You're my fail-safe. But then probably about an hour before I was supposed to do it, I remember thinking an hour before I was supposed to get them off the bus, like, okay, I got to do that. It's the weirdest thing. Talking about quality of life, like I had some residual symptoms after treatment that were really random. So for a short period of time, my leg would kind of feel numb or like tingly. And it was
neuropathy?
It wasn't like neuropathy. It was just a really odd sensation in my legs. And it would happen occasionally and it would really, really bother me. And so the only way that it could be relieved would be walking. So it's in the summertime. So I was like, I'm going to take a walk and just kind of like work the kinks out, right?
Yeah.
So I'm walking. I'm like, this is so nice. The day is so beautiful. I just kept walking. And guess what? I forgot to get my kids off the bus, the kids off the bus. So I got an angry call from my friend because it wasn't like they were in our neighborhood and knew how to get to our house. They were across the street in another neighborhood. And she was trying to be nice about it. She really was nice about it, but she was miffed because what happened was they got off the bus. No adult was there. So they went to their neighbor's house and stayed with them who happened to be home. So it all worked out fine.
Yeah.
They play with those kids. Yeah. So it was fine. But then the mom there called my friend and was like, your kids are at my house. And so she called me and she was ticked and I felt terrible. And I felt like all I was doing was making an excuse because I was like, I'm so sorry. I got these leg cramps. I went for a walk and then I forgot. I apologize.
Yeah. That feeling is the worst. It hurts in your gut.
It does.
When you just totally drop the ball on something.
And I will be honest with you. I can't think of another instance where I've dropped the ball that bad. So I felt just terrible because it was summertime. It wasn't the dead of the winter. The kids were old enough to where I didn't feel like they were in any immediate, but it felt terrible. Yeah. I was like, how would I feel if that were my kids and my friend had said they'd do this and then they didn't and then I get this call. I felt sick about it. And her husband was equally not happy about it. But they both were like, it's fine. It worked out. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I could tell they were mad.
They haven't asked you again.
No. No. And I haven't had an incident like that since then. But it was so embarrassing and so upsetting to me that I still can't think about it without cringing.
So does it feel like, since we're talking about chemo brain today, does it feel like, because my husband has said this to me, does it feel like saying chemo brain sometimes feels like a cop-out?
Well, I mean, no. Because I know that here's what I always joke.
Acknowledging it that it's a problem, does it feel like it's an easy fallback excuse?
I mean, it just feels different than general forgetfulness.
Yeah.
Like, it feels different to me. Like, I know.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Like, chemo brain.
My thing is names. I feel like I could know you so well and like we could be friends. And then all of a sudden your name just got like dry erased from my brain.
It 100%. And like when we're in social situations and I've met somebody 12 times and I'm looking at them going, I know who you are.
Yeah.
And you can't think of their name. It's like an Alzheimer's moment. Like you and I we're in a book club together. There was a book called something Alice. What was it? Something Alice. Remembering Alice,
yes,
forget Alice. Here we go. Chemo brain.
Yeah.
But it was all about this woman basically developing Alzheimer's.
Early onset. Yeah.
I think you finished the book, but I had to stop reading it because it was triggering for me because what was happening to her felt very familiar and it was scaring me. It's just a different feeling. Chemo brain is a different feeling than, I just forgot.
Yeah.
It's like
being overwhelmed.
Like you said, you're looking at somebody that you've known your whole life and their name's escaping you. That is scary.
It is very scary.
So anyway, I feel like, to your point though, when I was trying to explain to my friend what happened and why I missed her kids, it felt like I was giving her an excuse. Like it was a cop out and she was just kind of like, no, you just didn't care about my kids.
Yeah.
She didn't say that.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was giving her lame excuses trying to explain why this happened.
Yeah.
And but it feels different. Yeah. It's a different sense of forgetfulness than, I just forgot.
Yep,
I've always been somebody, like, I've never had a great memory. I've always needed to have coping mechanisms to, like, planners and things like that. What about you? Like, have you always had?
Same. Yeah.
Okay.
I've always been a list person, even when I was probably it started late high school, definitely in college, but I'm a list maker. And so now I feel like I'm a list maker to a fault though. Like, if you tell me to do something, if I don't write it down, I'm going to forget.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
There's not maybe I'll forget.
What I was going to say too about the whole cop-out thing is I don't think it's a cop-out, but I do joke like, okay, I've had 3 kids, right? So you have the mommy brain phenomenon. Then I've had COVID twice. Yep. So I feel like COVID has affected my memory. And then I've had chemo. Yeah. So it's like with all those things combined, when I started reading this book about Alzheimer's, it really freaked me out because I just feel like, what is wrong with my brain?
And if you just happen to get like not a great night's sleep and like you got some extra stressors or any of the combination, it just compounds.
It makes it worse. It makes it worse. So we're going to talk today about what chemo brain is, what the experts think it is.
Yep. Then we're going to talk about how it shows up for us.
Although I
we
feel
kind of already done that, but
like
we might touch on it a little bit more. Definitely talk about how we see it show up for others too, and then what you might experience.
Yeah. And what we'll wrap things up with like maybe something that you can do to help flex your mental muscle.
Yes.
So before we do that, do we want to go to our first sponsor?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. Hair loss is consistently ranked as one of the most feared side effects of chemotherapy treatment. The emotional impact chemo hair loss can have on patients has been well documented. Scalp cooling is a simple treatment that can prevent hair loss caused by certain chemotherapy drugs. The use of scalp cooling is proven to be effective in preventing chemotherapy-induced alopecia and can result in people retaining much of their hair. Paxman is the global leader in scalp cooling. Their cold cap is scientifically proven to reduce hair loss during chemotherapy. If you are facing cancer treatment and concerned about losing your hair, ask your provider about scalp cooling and visit our website at www.coldcap.com. And we're back. All right, so what is chemo brain? Or is it a cop-out, as Sarah said? It's obviously a real phenomenon because our oncologists and providers warn us about it. Survivors talk about it all the time. Go on a Facebook post for survivors and they're like,
chemo brain.
Hello. Like, anybody else freaking out about this? So basically, it's mental cloudiness like that can occur during or after cancer treatment. So Doctors and researchers can call chemo brain lots of things, like cancer-treated related cognitive impairment, if you want to get technical.
That's the nerdy phrase.
Well, it's the nerdy phrase, and it also makes me feel very scared again. Cognitive impairment. Nobody wants to have cognitive impairment at 41 years old. Cancer-related cognitive change. What's another one?
Post chemotherapy cognitive impairment.
Oh, they love that word cognitive and they love that word impairment.
Yes.
And all
these are the medical terms.
I was just going to say all the lay people call it chemo brain, right?
Yes, for sure.
So basically cognitive refers to the way your brain works to help you communicate, think, learn, resolve problems, like remember.
Mm-hmm. You know what I feel like? And even just talking about this is that, like, for me, how this shows up for me is in names. But I have never been great at names. But now I feel like I have more anxiety about names. Like, I know I'm not great at remembering names. And now, because I feel like
avoid it.
Chemo brain will wipe it out, I just avoid asking someone their name or learning their name because I know that there's a chance that I'm going to look even sillier not remembering their name again.
I agree with you. I project that I'm going to get chemo brain. And then it makes me, I've never suffered anxiety in social situations ever. And I will find myself feeling socially anxious when I see somebody and I'm like,
oh no,
oh my gosh, like I should know their name and I don't. And it's 10 times worse than it was when I was younger.
Yeah.
I was never great with it, but now it's way worse.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think they really know what causes it. Or how it will impact you. You could be fine. Other people, could be worse. I mean, that's just kind of the general rule of thumb in general with side effects on chemotherapy. I'm not even sure it's completely specific to chemo. I think radiation can cause mental cloudiness. Your hormone blockers can cause cloudiness.
I mean, because you basically are a menopausal woman, no matter what age you're going through it, even if you've already gone through menopause. And a symptom of menopause is just
mental cloudiness.
So,
My mom used to say all the time, she's like, my mom struggled with mental cloudiness because of some medications that she was on when I was younger for depression. And she's like, man, it sucked being a parent because you guys would say, no, you told us we could, or, oh, you said this. And she's like, and I genuinely couldn't remember doing it, but it didn't mean that, she's like,
happen.
But she's like, I couldn't tell if you guys were messing with me because you knew you could get away with it. And I feel like my kids kind of do that now.
Yeah.
Like your kids are littler, but my kids will be like, remember you said that we could play, if we got our homework done. And I'm like, I did? And they're like, yeah, mom. Yeah. And I'm just like, are you playing with me or did I really say that?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't feel like I personally struggle with like remembering things that I did. I mean, maybe I do. I don't know.
I mean, part of that's my ADD too. I'm always go, 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 go. So I'll be talking a mile a minute and then I won't. I mean, that used to happen prior to treatment. So I think it's just,
yeah. I would venture to guess that if you find that you struggled with something memory wise before, it might be worse now. Yeah. So
before we kind of like move on, do you want to do boobs or is it too soon?
No, let's do boobs.
Boobs in the News is a fun segment where we read funny tweets by real people or ridiculous news stories. Boobs in the News is brought to you by Pink Perfect, pink-perfect.com. Pink Perfect provides silicone prosthetic nipples for women who have undergone mastectomy and breast reconstruction with nipple removal. Visit pink-perfect.com and use promo code FaithThroughFire to receive $25 off your purchase.
Bibs in the news, bibs in the news, bibs in the news.
All right. So these are some funny tweets from 2021. They did a whole recap.
Fabulous. So we're in 2022. So you're just going to recap 2021 in tweets
and silly tweets. Okay. And I feel like it's not so much silly tweets. They're more like people who are not as educated. So anyway.
Okay, so boobs.
Seriously, boobs. Yes.
Boobs. Okay, let's go.
All right. So tweet number 1. This is titled On Alaska. That's it. This seals the deal. I've been an American citizen for 54 years, and in all of my time of being one, I've never seen an election this bad. I've had enough of it. Until you fix this country, I'll be packing my bags to Alaska, where they actually know how to run a country. And then somebody commented under Alaska is the same country, you dunce. All right, here's another one. Okay. What apps, APPS, have you all no, hold on, because the grammar on these is not the easiest. What apps have y'all bought that are worth the money? Mozzarella sticks for sure, and spinach and artichoke dip is a classic.
Appetizer.
Apps. Yep. Okay, so this one is on math.
Wait a minute. We got to go back. They said, did they say reasonable cost or free?
No, they said, what apps have y'all bought that are worth the money?
Oh, worth the money. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's
Mozzarella sticks, apparently. That
hysterical.
one likes. Yep. Okay. This one is titled On Math. Math, not meth.
Okay.
Why are we like this? All right. So the guy writes, it's true. The third pounder burger failed in America because they thought quarter pounders were bigger. And then someone commented, yeah, because they are. And he commented back and has 1/3 is greater than 1/4. 0.33 is greater than 0.25.
Oh my gosh.
And then the person underneath that commented, what are those signs?
What signs?
They're the greater than or less than sign.
Stop it!
I'm like, you need to go back to math.
Oh my gosh. That's bad.
We got 3 more. All right. On dinosaurs. If dinosaurs went extinct 65 million years ago, then why is the Earth 2021 years old? It's so cute.
That's the whole biblical versus, right? Isn't that what they're trying to say?
Probably, basically.
Like the biblical creation.
When did our years start? Like, there's the before AD and after AD. Like, they're not taking into account all that. They just need to go back for a history lesson. All right. Somebody commented, Scotland is not a country.
Oh.
And then somebody commented back, just searched and found it. It is. My apologies. Something new I learned today.
I studied abroad in college, and it's a pet peeve of people in other countries how uneducated the United States is on other countries.
Yeah.
And like, we just take no time.
For sure.
It's like we are the only country that exists.
And we only care about us. Oh, that sounds very us.
We didn't know any other languages, right? So we'd go to another country and we'd always be trying to find people who spoke English.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people prioritize learning other languages when they live in another country. I do.
Like most other countries speak English because
they speak multiple languages.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like usually when I find somebody from another country, they don't just speak their language in English. They'll often speak multiple languages. It's really impressive. And I do wish that we put more emphasis on our kids learning languages out of the gate. I know they're getting better about it, but I keep telling my kids, I'm like, guys, not only is it just like great, cognitively, and then but I'm like, it opens up so many opportunities and you get to meet so many interesting people.
Yep.
Anyway, I digress. Soapbox.
Soapbox. All right. If my body is 60% water, why don't I evaporate?
Oh,
back to the drawing boards, science nerds.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, first of all, you sweat and that sweat evaporates. That's what cools your body. I am not a science nerd and I understand that. Okay, moving on.
Oh my God.
Okay, this one I almost have to spell out for you. Okay, so this is on Smart Conversation is what this is titled. All right. There is literally no capitalization in this and there's no punctuation. I just wanna meet a female that can hold an lectual conversation with me.
Okay. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Best of luck to you. And the last one on head injuries. I ran into a glass door and I think I might have a Caucasian.
Oh no!
Bibs in the news, bibs in the news, bibs in the news.
We talked about this a little bit. We're back. How do you feel like chemo brain impacts you today?
I mean, really, the biggest thing for me is, well, actually, there's 2 big things. I forgot about this. I put this on my notes, but names are my number one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have the most anxiety about names. Actually, I teach yoga to firemen, and because I teach at a lot of different departments, a part of me has this mental block about asking them their name because I don't want to be held responsible to remember it. So then I just avoid it altogether.
Right.
But I will say that my workaround is that I tend to remember things about people better than their names. So if you tell me a funny story or something interesting that you're doing, I'm more likely to remember that than your name. But then that leads itself to me calling you, like, one of them I know builds tree houses. So that leads me to calling him like the treehouse builder. You know?
So you do associations to remember.
Right.
Yeah. I will wait until somebody else calls that person by name and then I'll use their name a lot in sentences.
Oh, that's,
to compensate for the, you know what I mean? Like, So if somebody's like, hey, Jim, will you hand me that, whatever, I'll be like, Jim, did you hear about? Or Jim, I'm going to go. It's like you're constantly compensating.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
So chemo brain, I think, is just, I do a lot. I did this before I had chemo, but it's like worse now. Where are my keys? Where are my sunglasses?
Yeah.
My husband's like, have we not learned that we need to put right now? I haven't been able to find my wedding ring in 2 months.
Yeah.
It's with my fake diamond earrings because those are missing as well. So I try to put everything in the same place all the time.
Yeah.
Because that's how my coping mechanism. However, this time I must have been doing something else, distracted, and I took both off, and I have not been able to find them for 2 months.
So I did a little research, and American Cancer Society actually has some things to say about what you can do for helping with your, what do they call it? Treatment-related cognitive impair.
Cognitive rehabilitation.
Yes.
I will be offline for several weeks, people. I'm going in for cognitive rehabilitation.
Isn't that like meditation? Could be
rehab.
Meditation.
It's not. No.
You're
rehabbing
something. You could.
But that's not like meditation. Meditation.
Yeah, but you're rehabbing the way that you think, which is what meditation does.
No.
I totally disagree.
You're not.
I think you can call meditation rehabilitation.
No.
You're slowing down your train of thoughts and learning to focus on something.
That's not. I guarantee you, if you go in for chemo brain rehab, they're not having you meditate.
Well,
they're going to have you
doing you, but I still think that the word rehabilitation could also be matched with meditation. Anyway, I digress.
Agree to disagree, my friend.
All right. So in cognitive rehabilitation, you're learning how the brain works and ways to take in new information.
Okay. So like what?
Which is what we just talked about. You just talked about ways to bring in somebody's name by saying, hi, Jim. It's nice to meet you, Jim. Jim, can you hand me that? Like you're saying their name over again. So, So if somebody doesn't understand about why they're thinking the way that they are or why their brain is not there,
I was going to say,
you learn tools.
I was just going to say, is it tools or is it testing? Like, is it like, how they say if you do crossword puzzles, it's good for your brain? Mm-hmm. Keeps you from getting the timers. Mm-hmm. Like timers. Like Alzheimer's or
I got you.
Oh, you followed me on that.
I just never heard it put that way.
I'm just saying, like, like they're like, oh, do Sudoku or whatever. That helps your brain. Mm-hmm. That's what I think would be like. That's why I haven't done it. Cognitive rehabilitation. They're going to be like, go do this puzzle or, count backwards from 100 or whatever they do. By threes. I hate when they do stuff like that.
Yeah, but you are because your mind gets comfortable. Like your mind goes, wake up, I do the tasks that I'm used to doing it. It's like driving in a rut. You are used to doing it, and which is why the next thing on here is performing new tasks. Mm-hmm. So if you are put up against some stress, which is why in school you're so on it because you're learning new things all the time. You're stressed to make sure you pass the test. You are in a new situation. You're in a new environment. You're making new friends. Like, don't you feel like in school you're most on point?
No, but I was not the student you were. So
okay, well that's how I felt. But anyway, learning new tasks helps flex your mental muscle. It's like doing something new. It's like a workout.
I went on because you and I are talking about chemo brain, but I was kind of curious what other women were saying about it. Yeah. So I went on, one of the survivor groups on Facebook, and somebody had posted, "Okay, can we talk about chemo brain? I finished chemo in March, and I feel like I'm noticing that my short-term memory is terrible. I'm gonna mention it to my oncologist tomorrow, but I'm freaking out a little." And most curious what, if anything, you might be able to share about what your chemo brain has felt like. So she's freaking out too, which I get. It's a very disconcerting thing. Somebody said, I still have it and I'm 3 years out of treatment. Somebody said, I'm 8 years out and still have glitches in my memory. Sometimes I forget words that are really easy.
Oh, that's a really good word to put it.
Yeah.
Glitch. It does feel like a glitch. Like that should be there and it's not.
So she's forgetting words that are easy. She says, I forget events one day and clearly can remember them the next day.
Ooh.
She says, I describe it as being in a room with a lot of windows and sometimes the shades are down. The picture that you would normally see looking out that window is still there, even though you can't see it right now. Maybe tomorrow the shade is lifted and you can see it clearly. My oncologist told me it never goes away completely. Somebody else said, it definitely gets better. She says, I had trouble pulling words sometimes and making short-term memories as well as remembering long-term memories. I remember asking how long it takes to get your memory back and crying when he said it never fully comes back. She said probiotics help tremendously. I don't know what that...
Yeah. I mean, it might be a gut thing because chemo does affect your gut. And they call your gut your second brain.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
true.
our gut is having a hard time pulling out these words.
That one gal says, I forget words, have to take pauses during conversations to find the right thing to say. I'm very easily distracted. I relate to this. She said, I had ADD before and now it's much worse. I find it hard to multitask. It's like I have tunnel vision and only one project at a time. That's totally like how I feel. It's been 12 years since chemo and I still have issues with my brain. It doesn't work like it did before. I mean, a lot of these women, this woman says technology has been a godsend because of alarms, calendars, and notes. She's 10 years out and still has moments. So, I mean,
this is just my own mental wonder, but I also wonder how much of it has to do with like actual chemo. I know we call it chemo brain, but how much of it has to do with that and then just the effects of trauma.
Oh, yeah. Well, memory loss is so...
Yeah.
I mean, you and I have talked about this so many times. Like, we thought we were handling it great until big chunks of our memory are, like, erased.
Gone. Yeah. No
Which,
idea.
I mean, is why I attribute that to being a very happy person.
Yeah.
Which is why maybe we don't hold on to anything. Because it's like we literally don't remember it.
Yeah.
It's repressed and it can stay there.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't do very well when somebody's like, tell me about a sad time in your childhood. And I'm like, meh.
Don't want to. Next.
I'm okay.
Yeah. I don't know if that's healthy or not.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. So we're saying cognitive rehabilitation. So there are programs like certain therapy groups, hospitals will have like chemo rehab that you can go and you can get it approved by insurance. So if you want to go through a formalized program with a therapist to help with your cognitive abilities, you can do that.
Yeah.
I have not done that thus far, mainly because I'm afraid they'll make me do math. But math or puzzles, both of which I don't enjoy. But I don't know. That's an option. So let's talk about two other things that could help.
So this one is obviously my personal favorite, but exercise can improve your thinking and your ability to focus. So I think this has to do with like the hormones that are released and also just like that endorphin release that you get. It's like that happy, feel good.
I agree with that. When I exercise, I feel more mental clarity.
For sure. 100%.
And likewise, we are not really touching on this today, but if I don't get enough sleep or I'm eating crummy, I think it affects my memory.
Yeah.
I really do.
Well, and the lack of exercise will affect your sleep because I don't know about you, but if I don't get enough activity in the day and I go to lay down, my brain's like, excuse me, you did not work me hard enough today.
So like your mind's racing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my body just doesn't feel like it's not craving sleep. So then my body's like almost like vibrating to want to go do something.
I think sedentary, being sedentary, which I think we all are so much more so than we ever were before. Definitely works.
You should be listening to this while you're walking.
Works. Yeah, right. If you're listening to this and you're laying down, get up.
Yeah.
Get up.
The last one, I've actually started to incorporate this a little bit more in the new year, definitely over the last month, but meditation. So there are tons of studies out there about how meditation can impact recurrence rates. But meditation can help improve your brain function by increasing your focus and your awareness. So you're able to, like some of the meditations, I'm going through like this 10-day meditation challenge book, and they have you just bring awareness. So like the first day was bring awareness just to your breath. The second day was bring awareness to, some part of your body. It doesn't have to be your breath, but maybe, or one single thought. And then the next day was bring an awareness to something outside of you. And they suggest like putting a candle at eye level and you watch the flame for 5 minutes while you breathe. But it can be anything. So you could put a totem or a picture.
Meditation
it's
is just so hard.
It is, but if you find it hard, it's probably more beneficial for you because you probably find it hard. And you can tell me if I'm wrong here, but it's because I don't know about you, but it feels like a Rolodex of thoughts in my brain all the time. And they're just like flying by at the speed of light. So, and I jump from one thought to the next. And I need to remember this. I need to do this. I need to put this on my calendar. I need to do this. And did I do this? And then there's guilt. Oh my gosh, where did that come from? And like, why am I feeling that? And what meditation does is it gives you the ability to stop, like just stop it all. I mean, and it's going to sneak in, especially when you're new to it, but you're still going to be like, okay, I'm going to breathe for 5 minutes. That's all I'm going to do. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, did I change the laundry? And then you're going to go, no, I'm not thinking about that right now. Like,
yeah, that's my point though. Like, this is me telling meditation gurus, I hate that whole focus on your breath. It's so annoying because it's like, we breathe. I get it. I don't get anything from focusing on myself breathing in and out. Like that does nothing for me. I will say, like, and maybe it's because I haven't mastered it yet. There's
no mastering meditation.
But I will say this, so the other thing that I hear that at first I was annoyed, but I have found it interesting and somewhat helpful is like when those thoughts come into your brain, because you're basically trying to shut your brain off and not not think about all these random thoughts. You're trying to focus your energy, calm your nervous system. So they say, like, when these thoughts fly into your head, don't judge them, just notice them and then let them go.
Yeah.
So somebody had said, well, like a cloud's just passing by. You're just noticing it's there. You're not, it's just a cloud. And I thought, okay. But like, to your point, when you're sitting there trying to be quiet and you're trying to settle your brain and you start seeing these thoughts come in, I'm trying to just notice it. Like, okay, that thought just popped in for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
Like, let it go by like a cloud. And meditation is a practice because it requires practice. And I think that's why it annoys me is that it's not something that you can easily do. You have to practice it to get better at it.
Yeah.
And it's a very big challenge for me. So to your point, I think like I probably need it more than anybody. And it's challenging though. It takes a lot of energy to meditate on nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't have to meditate on nothing. You could sit down and use your meditation time as like prayer.
Yeah.
It's just slowing down. It's like, it's slowing down, it's breathing. And I know that you say like, okay, we have to breathe every day. But we don't all breathe intentionally.
Well, okay. So let me circle back.
Sounds very yoga guru-ish of me to say that. But
because breath work is my favorite thing because it de-stresses me and it slows me down. But I can't focus on my breath. But the act of breathing intentionally is better for me than anything else.
Yeah.
When I do breath work, that really, I can feel it physically. I can feel it mentally.
It slows your heart rate. It slows your blood. Lowers your blood pressure.
So I'm sure breath work is basically a form of meditation.
Yeah.
So before we close this out, let's do our second sponsor.
Innsbrook Resort is a proud sponsor of the Faith Through Fire Respite House and the Besties with Breasties podcast. We know you work hard, but at Innsbrook, we also know you want to disconnect from what's stressing you out and reconnect with the important things in your life. Innsbrook makes it easy by offering lakefront living and vacationing less than 45 minutes from St. Louis. Vacation homes, golf, swimming, nature trails, fun events, and more. Take a drive and discover Innsbrook. Visit Innsbrook-resort.com.
So I think what we want people to know is to not get discouraged and that there are options for things that you can do to help with your cognitive function, aka your chemo brain. And and then do like we do. We find humor in it all the time, especially when you're around other survivors. Like, it does make conversation really fun when somebody just stops dead in their tracks and they're like,
everybody knows what they're doing.
No idea what I was saying.
Well, you can say that to other
brain.
Right. You can say that to other survivors and they're going to be like, I got you, girl. I know what's up. Yeah. And how hysterical is it going to be when all of us survivors go to an escape room and try to get out of a room together?
We're going to be like, wait, I got it. Oh no, I just lost it.
Wait a minute. What am I doing? I think it's going to be hysterical. So find the humor in it. But, you can get therapy for it. You can do meditation. You can exercise. You can watch your sleep and your eating.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, man, you just got to roll with it, right?
With it. Yeah.
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 All right.
So next time on the podcast, we're going to be talking with another survivor who had a pretty shocking experience with her reconstruction in survivorship. So she waited 4 years between getting her active treatment and then getting her reconstruction.
Right. She got reconstruction, had complications, waited another 4 years.
Yeah, it's a pretty resilient story.
Had more complications. Yeah, she's amazing.
So we are going to be talking with her on our next episode in our Quality of Life series.
All right, guys. Until next time.
See ya.
If you are a breast cancer survivor and you love Besties with Breasties, make sure you join our survivorship support network at faiththroughfire.org to gain access to exclusive episodes that are ad-free and uncensored.